as you go.
Aw, fuck you. I was gonna say, how are you not fucking executable yet? So yeah, you should always carry something. Pepper spray, I always believe, or not always, but for a long time now, I have believed everybody should carry pepper spray as like your kind of first line of defense, and then something else that can be used as a closer to a weapon, you know? And that's not always a knife. I carry knives, but I carry knives, but I'm not carrying them for self-defense. I'm carrying them, you know, in case I need them, mostly in case I need to cut something. I end up having to cut a lot of things. I don't, and you know, it's probably just the fact that I have the knife on me. I'm going to actively find ways to use it. But I find myself cutting things, whether it's like thread on my shirt or something, or somebody needs something open, like a box opened or something. It's like, oh, why not use the keys? Because the knife is better at cutting things than my keys. That's why. But yeah, so I always have a knife on me. I don't have pepper spray, but that's because I have asthma, which means there is a less than 0 chance of me pepper spraying myself and then giving myself an asthma attack. That is the risk with pepper spray, is that it's super easy to, you know, self-inflict damage. And so that's why I personally don't carry pepper spray, but in the instances where I would need pepper spray are pretty rare. And in those instances, if I would need pepper spray, I'm confident enough with my skills with my hands that I could, you know, take care, go to work. I'm gonna go to work and take care of business, you know? Oh god, that was such a stupid fucking thing that I saw. You know, I watch a lot of self-defense stuff, a lot of like home defense things, like using firearms in your house to defend against intruders, and there's always this fucking guy. There's always this guy trying to sound, I don't know if they're like trying to sound badass or something, but they're refusing to use the words, words to describe what's going on. And what I mean by that is, there's this one instance like, oh, you know, my kids are in my house, my family's there, somebody comes in, I keep my AR tucked next to the bed, and so if someone comes in, I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna go downstairs, and I'm gonna go to work. And it's like, what the fuck? Why are you using that language? Just say you're gonna shoot him. Are you uncomfortable with saying you're gonna shoot him? Just say you're gonna shoot him. Fuck. You're not going to work. This isn't like a stroll in the park. You're about to be in lethal combat with somebody. Just be honest about what you're talking about. It always bothered me. It's always bothered me when people are like that. Like, I don't have a gun right now. I'm thinking about getting one just for a lot of reasons, but I don't have one right now. Right? I would never describe using a gun to kill someone as going to work or taking care of business. It just feels incredibly dishonest to me, and incredibly like I'm too afraid to actually talk about the subject that we're talking about. You know, it's always bothered me. I've never liked it. And so it's just like, oh, if I have a gun in my house and someone has broken in at night, if I have to, because there are times where you don't, but if I have to, I will use that gun to kill the intruder. Now the question is, it's like, oh, and I really don't like that language that I hear from a lot of gun advocates, because it just sounds icky. And what I mean by that is that it sounds like you're not addressing what you're doing, and people will hear that, especially anti-gun people, and get like grossed out by it, because it is gross. It sounds like you don't think it's justified to do that. Whereas I personally believe that if someone breaks into your home for just about any reason, you are justified in using lethal force on someone. Like, not even legally, morally, because you have no idea why they're there. Serial killers are a thing. People who kill entire people's families are a thing, and a lot of people will be like, well, you don't know. They're probably just there to take your stuff, and is their life worth less than your stuff? And it's like, I mean, I don't know. Maybe. That's a moral question, but I'm not here to talk about why they're doing it. They're putting my and my family's life in danger, and I'm going to do whatever is necessary to make sure that they don't. Someone puts my son in danger, they're just not allowed to exist in the immediate vicinity anymore. Now, in a lot of places, in order for it to be legally justifiable, you have to give them the option to get away. So you can't, like, and what I mean by that is you cannot lock them into your house and then shoot them. They have to be given an option to get away. Now, what a lot of people will hear that and be like, oh, so I'm supposed to just, let them go if they're like attacking my family. And that's not what that means. What that means is you're not allowed to entrap them. You're not allowed to detain them and then do lethal harm onto them. Of course, when the police do it, it's perfectly fine. But what's it called? And so all that means is that, like, someone breaks into your house, you are not allowed to, like, sneak around them, lock the door, and then hunt them. That's essentially what that means. And so you just, and personally, I think that's fine. Because guess what? Well, as much as I think that encroaching on someone's house and, breaking into someone's house gives the homeowner carte blanche in terms of what they are allowed to do to you. There are times when people break into their house and they are just here to steal stuff and they aren't actually going to hurt you. I do believe that you're allowed to defend your property, but that's a whole other argument. But let's just say it's a drunk guy and they accidentally broke into your house thinking it was their house. That happens a lot. That guy, doesn't deserve to be shot. And so if you pull your gun on them and say, hey, get the fuck out of my house, and they're like, oh, what? What's going on? Oh, God. It's like, oh, you probably don't need to shoot them. You can probably just get them to leave. So I get that, and that's why I do think that having a rule being like, no, you need to be able to give them the option to run away. And so that would entail like, oh, well, if I let my presence known, that puts me at a disadvantage. And you're right, it does. Which is why I'm a big believer in, like, speaker systems throughout the house and security systems throughout the house. So you can, talk on your speaker and be like, hey, get out of my house or I will shoot you. And you're in an entirely different room from where they are. I think that would be enough to get most things out of to deal with most of these situations. And that way you don't have questions about what happened. You gave them the chance, and if they refuse to take that chance, that's when okay, this guy's not here to not do harm to me or my family. They're probably here to kill me. Because if someone doesn't go away, when you say, hey, get out of my house or I will kill you, they're probably there to do harm to you. Of course, if someone is drunk, they may not realize it, but that's what having security cameras would help with. So it's like, you know, it is what it is. Self-defense law and weapon use law is a complicated issue. It's also a complicated moral issue. So it's like, you know, there's never a true right answer with it. Like, a lot of people want to make it simple when it really is not, because no one deserves to die for any reason, right? Or no one deserves to be killed by someone who has broken into their home because they didn't follow the exact rules, or because, like, what am I trying to say? What am I trying to say? If you're in your house and someone breaks in, like, you shouldn't have to put yourself in more danger to be able to defend yourself. That shouldn't be a thing. But there are considerations that do need to be made. You don't know if the guy who is in your house is trying to kill you. You do not know that. And they might not be. Like I said, they might be just a drunk guy. They might be someone who's just confused. The amount of times that someone who was just looking for help, someone who needed help, knocked on someone else's door and then just got shot is too much. Something like that should not be allowed. That's what, and like I said, something like that is, you know, cameras. You can be like, hey, what do you want? And they can tell you. Now, of course, there's the argument that, like, well, what if they're trying to trick me into opening the door and then they're going to break in? And, like, yeah, that is something that happens. That is something that has happened a lot. So it's up to you to be like, no, sorry, I can't help you, or you cannot come in, but I can call the police for you. Like, you know, you don't, like, you can help people without letting them into their house, into your house. You do not have to let them into your house. You also, even if you want to help them, you might not want to let them into your house because you don't want to bring whatever shit that they're dealing with into your house, you know? It's your house. You want to protect it. You want to make sure that it's a safe haven for you and your family. Like, people who have had their house broken into, even if they weren't there, still end up getting PTSD from it. They still end up just feeling absolutely violated because it's, you know, it's your house. People aren't supposed to be breaking into it. It's supposed to be a place where you are safe from danger, from the rest of the world. So it's like, people who break into your house, even if they mean you no harm, are still doing harm to you. So I have very little sympathy for people who are breaking into their house for any reason other than, you know, they're drunk and they got confused about whose house they're at.
In here, pal.
Ah, fuck. Fuck. Alrighty. Some deep self-defense and legal shit going on here. Oh? Oh? Oh! Why? I was doing so well. Damn it. Okay, hold on. Gotta start over because of the crash. Because of the crash. Where was I going? Oh yeah, no, just... You might be wondering, hey, I live in a country where you're not allowed to own guns. What am I to do? And the answer to that is a robust, security system in your house. One with cameras and speakers, so you can be like, hey, I've called the police, they're already on their way. Something like that.
No way.
Now the argument against that is that, well, if they know the police are on their way, they're more likely to kill me. Which I don't know if the data backs that up or not. I don't know if there's ever been a study that has studied that. It would be pretty difficult to do that study, so I don't know if the data backs that up. I can certainly see it happening, though, and so it's just like, well, what are you gonna do? Because the criminal's gonna criminal. People who are breaking into people's houses, have already crossed a moral line. Because a lot of people, with good reason, will argue that a lot of crime will cease to exist if the material conditions of the people committing those crimes improves. Which is true. Like, that has been proven. But the thing is, there are certain crimes that will occur even with good material conditions, because there are just certain people who will commit certain crimes no matter what, no matter how good their life is, because they are bad people. And that will always exist no matter what. And you cannot reliably tell if that's going to be the case every single time. And so it's just like, shit. So it's like, if you tell a criminal who's broken into your place, hey, police are on the way, that might just tell them, oh, so I gotta kill these guys way faster than I would have. Otherwise, I'm gonna go to jail. So it's like, So I don't know what you would do if you live in a country where you're not allowed to own guns, or you live in a state where you're not allowed to own guns, and you want to be a law-abiding citizen. You don't want to commit crime. You don't want to go to jail. It's like, okay. So what are you gonna do? I don't know. Maybe have a panic room? I don't know.
Fight me.
Pretty sure panic rooms are legal everywhere. The thing is that a panic room isn't perfect because it's still in the house and the threat hasn't been stopped. You've just put a barrier between yourself and the threat. And I'm sorry, but
Holy shit.
yeah, that depending upon what's going on, a safe room isn't necessarily going to stop people from attacking you. So it's just like, I don't know. That's why I think the Second Amendment is so important. A gun is the best equalizer in any fight. If you're disabled and you can't fight back, or if you're old, or if you're like weak, you can't fight off attackers with even like, a bat or a baton, because you still need to be able to you still need to be able to move your body effectively to use most self-defense tools, other than pepper spray. But the thing is, in a lot of places where guns are illegal, pepper spray is also illegal for some reason. Fuck off. So it's like, you know, what are you gonna do then? You know, complicated stuff. And for the longest time, a city I lived near, it was illegal to carry pepper spray, and I never understood it. Especially since it was legal to carry guns in that city, but, you know, it is what it is. Like I said, because of American culture, you know, it's legally easier to justify using a gun than a self-defense implement. It's really weird. Very weird thing. And the thing is like, as I say, a gun is the ultimate equalizer in a lot of these scenarios. You still need to be practiced. You still need to be able to use it under stress. And a lot of people don't. A lot of people just like go to the range and they practice their marksmanship, which is fun as hell. Or they're like, you know, futz around with it, or they're hunting with it. But they're not actually practicing using it under stress. Which again, is something you need to do if you want to be good at self-defense, if you want to be good at fighting. You need to be able to practice using the tools. Oh, fuck you. Using the tools that you would use. So, yeah. Nothing's perfect.
I really don't like your
Nothing's easy. Nothing in this life is easy. It is what it is.